isn't this the same CR, the same spending levels that you voted for in September, the same spending levels that you voted for in December? So what has changed? What's changed is you have President Trump in office rather than President Biden in office, because there's no other argument you can have here. They weren't willing to shut it down. They were okay with these numbers two other times, but this is in 2024. Now that Trump's in office, it's their hatred towards Trump that they're willing to shut down the government for. It's absurd. Why wouldn't they support the policies, the numbers that they voted for underneath Biden?
And look, is it wrong to talk to people
I don't
who
think
disagree
it's wrong.
with you?
I don't think it's wrong. And with Kirk, he talked about how his younger son is a big fan. I mean, the reality is Democrats really need to have some introspection here. Why did they lose this election? They seemingly still don't understand why. They don't get why a slew of younger men, younger people, people of color have moved more to the right than, hell, as long as I've been a Republican, I can't ever remember some of the numbers that we've seen in this most recent election. So if you're a Democrat talking to the people who are partially responsible for this new movement and understanding the how and the why, I think is tactically smart.
Democrats are the party of hypocrisy, and I think the more you look at them, the more you observe their actions, the more you realize this stuff, right? They talk about, they love to label the right conspiracy theorists, or you guys don't believe in facts. But then when you show them facts, liberals and leftists are the main ones who don't accept it. They don't let it. It's like they're projecting. This is why I say every accusation is a confession. This is the liberal bias that they don't seem to comprehend. They want to talk about, MAGA doesn't believe in facts. They're conspiracy theorists. But here, when you call a trans-identifying person their biological gender, they get triggered. When they sit here and try to tell you that gender is a social construct, no, it's not. Saying gender is a social construct is saying like language is a cultural construct, like societal construct. Its purpose is to communicate effectively within a tribe. Hey, look at that woman over there. If you're a liberal, you don't know who I'm talking about because you think anyone could be a woman because of how they personally identify. No, that's not how it works in the real world. And I think this is one of the reasons why men are leaving this crazy ass party, because it's very feelings based, it's very emotional based. Democratic messaging has no rationale to it. Because whenever you ask a Democrat to rationalize their ideas, they can't. This is why Democratic women disproportionately are more likely to disassociate with you, unfriend you, hell, break up with you if you express ideas that's opposed to their ideology. Democrat women, the most likely to unfriend, disassociate, or remove you or from your friend group. Like, make it make sense. These people are very close-minded people. Democratic women are very close-minded people, followed by Democratic men. Men don't understand it. Men are looking at them like they're crazy. How does a country that have more votes than California, 640 million votes, India can count it in one day. Germany, it takes 8 hours to count 50 million votes. But California, it takes 4 weeks. And the governor of that state says he agreed. Make it make sense. But when people were bringing this up after the election, you didn't hear Democrats talking about this. And I think I agree with Shermichael. It's a smart tactic what Gavin Newsom is doing, but what the liberals are doing, what the other Democrats are doing, they're coming out standing against what he's doing. They're trying to chastise him. They're calling him a traitor. They're using emotional appeal. Oh my God, this hurts the feelings of LGBTQ people who stood behind Gavin Newsom. That's emotional. That's emotional. It's not rational. It's not. This is some of the things that men see, and they're going, this part is hypocritical. They'll say one thing when it's convenient for them, and then they'll switch up to another thing. You want an example? Doge is an example. Let's check out this clip by Greg Gutfeld highlighting how a lot of these Democrats that's against Doge now would have agreed with Doge in the 2008s when Democrats used to make sense, to 2010s. Let's listen.
Hell, those who oppose Doge now were all about cutting waste years ago.
We simply must make the cuts in waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicare. We owe it to our country.
There is an enormous amount of waste and fraud and abuse in this government. When there is waste and fraud, you have an administration who should also be on top of that situation.
If we're going to eliminate the waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicare, it does mean we're going to cut some of that out. We want to cut the bad stuff and keep the good stuff.
Wow, that sounds familiar. And now it's finally happening. And guess who's rooting against it? Those assholes. Yeah. Put that picture up again. That's waste, that's fraud, and that's abuse. All right.
And Democrats seem to not understand this stuff. And slowly but surely, people are coming out and supporting the Republican Party. Charlemagne's upset that Keith Shelf's ended hearing after Democrat representative lashed out at him for calling Sarah McBride Mr. I have to play, look at this racist, devil's advocate here because I understand where Mr. Shelf is coming from. As Keith Shelf explained on social media, and I'm quoting him here, it's the policy of the United States to recognize two genders, male and female. There is no reason to adjourn a meeting because you are challenged on calling Sarah a him. When William Cutter says you're out of order, say, well, hey, the president signed an executive order and that's what I'm following.
As the representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ranking Member Keating, also wonderful.
Mr.
I'm
Chairman,
sorry.
could you repeat your introduction again, please?
Yes, we have set the standard on the floor of the House, and I'm simply.
What is that standard, Mr. Chairman? Would you repeat what you just said when you introduced a duly elected representative from the United States of America? Please.
I will. The representative from Delaware, Mr. McBride.
Mr. Chairman, you are out of order. Mr. Chairman, have you no decency? I've come to know you a little bit, but this is not decent.
We will continue this.
You will not continue it with me unless you introduce a duly elected representative the right way.
I like how even that person, even the guy that's getting mad about this, he don't even call him or her. You heard his language. He was very careful what he says. He went by his name, right? But he didn't want to start because the dude looked like, what is this guy talking about? Like what he's mad about? And that's how the Democrats look. You hear standing up for another guy, pretending to be a woman, and people are looking at you like, this is a 730 issue. America's not going to agree with you here, but okay. And now he's throwing a hissy fit. Men don't respect this. I'm sorry. I don't respect that. Challenge him, acknowledge, okay, you challenge him. Okay, what I did wrong. He don't have to answer to you. And then you get mad how he handled it? Charlemagne, bruh, this is some weak stuff, bro. I'm tired of this.
The right way.
And right way? What's right way? According to what? You? According to your party? Or according to the American people? Or according to the law? Like, Democrats, they think that if they feel a certain way, it gives them the ability to just go against everything, like just rewrite rules. Oh, I don't like your president. Oh, I don't think your president's cabinet picks or qualified. Therefore, I got license to oppose them. Emotional ass party. I'm tired of this party already, bro.
Hey.
This hearing is adjourned.
To me, that congressman that was sitting next to him, he looked spoiled. Oh, I didn't get my way? Pouting. Democrats, bro, y'all don't learn, bro. I'm happy for you guys, though. I mean, keep it up. Keep it up. Keep it up. Because I think Americans are done being taken advantage of by this emotionally manipulative party, right? Trump halts funding to main schools as states refuse to bar trans-identifying athletes from women's sports. Trump signed an executive order, and Democrats are still playing this game. Trump is on the right side of a 70-30 issue. Democrats are still trying to push. This is a strange hill for the Democrats to die on. And I think this is one of the reasons why many people don't trust the Democratic Party. Democratic Party is the personification of a party that is my way or the highway. Don't believe me? Gavin Newsom claims that not one person ever in my office has ever used the word Latinx. I have a Hispanic wife. Maybe some of you guys may or may not know, and she has never used that word. Actually, My wife has told me, and many people in her family said, if you use that word, they take it as akin to them calling a black dude the N-word, and you're a white man. Oh my God. Problem is he literally did it himself. All Democrats do is lie. Right? Nobody in my office uses Latinx. Gavin Newsom uses Latinx when he's addressing the public. When they thought it was popular. And see, this is the problem with Democrats. They're the party of my way or the highway. And with men, it don't work that way. Men live different lives. Men like, you can live the life you live. I can live the life I live. Respect my boundaries. I respect yours. And Democrats don't respect boundaries. America established a boundary. No trans-identifying athletes in women's sports. Democrats don't respect that. They're still trying to push their views on you. And you're going to get resistance. You're going to get backlash. And you wonder why Democrats are losing men at an alarming rate, especially straight men. Because Democrats have nothing to offer for men. Now, these same men who tends to be podcasters, who tend to communicate this stuff to the American people, who tend to be very interested in politics. Now, I'm seeing women starting to get into politics now. But for the most part, when I was growing up, when I'm talking politics, usually only men want to talk politics, not really women. And when sometimes, this is just my personal observation, this is an anecdote, my personal anecdote. Don't blame me. I come from a very emotional people sometimes. We're very passionate. When women talk politics, it's usually from an emotional lens. And this goes on a lot. And when I try to center the conversation in something, hey, look, I don't care about how something feels. I care about the results of something. Oh, you're cold. Oh, you don't have a heart. I don't care. What I say true or false? That's all I really care about. And this is the kind of conversations that Democrats try to play. This is the kind of games Democrats play. They play for feelings, not for facts. And the only time they want to reference facts if it aligns with their feelings. And this is what leads me to this video here. When you get a Democrat that might have a chance to actually, appeal to the common American, right? Democrats don't talk like normal people. They've been criticized. Democrats have been criticized a lot about their messaging. Their messaging is very corporate, word salad, corporate HR jargon, right? Regular people don't talk like that, right? And this is what's being pointed out to the Democrat Party, but they don't listen. They create terms like Latinx and all this crap. Like Spanish is a gendered language. Sorry. They got two words meaning the same thing based exclusively on gender, but the liberal thinks, oh, Spanish, your language is wrong. We have to add gender neutral terms in your language. Liberal Hispanics go along with it. Hispanics looking at like, nah, you ain't going to sit here and Americanize my culture. That's how Spanish people take it. It's so funny that Democrats pretend that they're so against colonization unless it's them doing the colonizing. Cultural colonizing, that is. And this is the problem Democrats don't seem to understand. But, I digress. I want to play this conversation between John Fetterman and this reporter highlighting some of the problems with Democrats' messaging and how they have not learned their lesson. And I hope they don't learn their lesson for another year until they get mollywopped in the midterms. Because it doesn't benefit America for having a Looney Tunes party like the Democratic Party continuing going down the path of irrelevancy. But I digress. Let's continue with the clip.
President Trump is surrounded by the wealthiest cabinet, the wealthiest administration in modern U.S. history. Does this concern you?
I don't think it's so much about their wealth. It's just because they might have some kind of the views or some things that I don't agree, and they would push a lot of decisions and changes in our government that I wouldn't support or would like to see happen in there too. So it doesn't really follow their wealth. For me, it just follows some of these kinds of core beliefs and the things that they're willing.
This is the funny part about Democrats. They'll sit here and say, oh, we're a party of treating everyone equally, but they're judging someone based on their economics. What if I said, oh, do you have a problem being run by the poorest administration ever? What do you mean by that? Every individual serving the government in the president's cabinet is the poorest based on network ever. You think they'll be able to properly learn how to manage things if they never had to manage wealth and resources before at the same extent as the government? Like, make it make sense. Yeah, the liberal left will have a problem with that if I had judged someone based on their class, based on their social economic status. But here they are doing that. People, a group of individuals that's used to managing large amount of resources in their own personal life, you think that somehow it's a bad thing that they're in the government where you manage large resources. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense. If someone put a gun to your head and say, hey, someone has to manage your money, this bureaucrat from the government, all they know how to do is run and beg for money, or this individual that invested $1,000 and after 50 years, he turned it into $1 billion, who you want investing your money? You're going to go with the investor. Oh, you're going with that capitalist multi-billionaire. Oh, of course, because you're less likely to scam me. And this is something that it seemed like Democrats don't seem to understand. I don't know, it's because I grew up in the hood and I seen dudes scam people. It's in poverty. There's a reason why scammers target people in a lower social economic class, because it's easier to swindle money out of them. It can happen with high net worth individuals as well, but it's less likely to happen. And they're less incentivized to do that. Because you don't gain that kind of wealth. You don't generate that kind of wealth unless you're savvy with money. Unless you have some basic understanding of money. If you're not an athlete or entertainer, that is. And this is the argument of the Democrats. You're mad that someone has a social economic status, a certain social economic status, and you're using that as a way to try to disqualify them? Imagine we did that with race. Imagine we did that with gender. And I think I'm starting to point out, like, maybe I'm just against discrimination based on like superficial crap. Like, are they competent? And John Fetterman had the correct answer. It's not necessarily because of their wealth. It's because they probably going to push ideas that I don't like. If Democrats want to try to start plugging up the holes of them losing male voters, I think they should listen to John Fetterman a little bit more. I think John Fetterman should be the leader of the Democratic Party if the Democratic Party was smart. I can't believe I'm saying that, but hey, he's the most sane one I heard so far. And Gavin Newsom is trying to paint himself in that same light. But, you know, he has a track record following him. John Fetterman, he's newer to this political stuff.
To push and to do.
What about this idea that we're sort of creating American oligarchs?
Yeah, and I was asked Democrats, like, start talking like a regular person. Most people are not sure what an oligarch is. You know, it's like, okay, is an oligarch, is it like a rich dude or woman? Okay, well, but there's also a little secret too. Democrats, you know, we like billionaires if they're giving to our causes or to our party as well too.
But there's a difference.
It's unlimited.
Hold on. There's a difference between a very
it's
wealthy
unlimited
donor.
money. It's unlimited money. That's the poison of American democracy. Get rid of unlimited.
See, it's different. It's always different because you feel differently about it. Billionaire gives $100 million to Donald Trump. Oh, he's being bought. Billionaires give $100 million to Kamala Harris. Oh, he's supporting a good cause. The only thing that changes is how you felt about the action and the direction of that action. That's it. And many men see this. This is why I'm saying, like, yo, this is why Democrats lose men. Men will see that and be like, it don't matter how you feel about the damn thing. And I think this is why, like, I think Democrats perfected emotional messaging.
Money, and then that would render billionaires on either side to those kinds of a thing. And so remember, a lot of these billionaires that were in tech, they used to be more friendly to the Democratic interest in our party as well too. So,
but there's a
unlimited money, get rid of that, and that would transform America more than any single other decision.
Absolutely. We are 15 years and 2 months since the Citizens United decision, and it has changed politics forever, it seems. But there's a difference between very wealthy political donors and very wealthy people inside the government making decisions that could potentially enrich themselves.
See, and this is another thing that I find fake about the Democratic Party is that what Trump does in public, Democrats do in private, right? Remember Hillary Clinton's famous quote? And I think this lost her the election, honestly. You have a public policy and you have a private policy. And people went, what's the private policy? Trump, he has everything out in the open. Hey, look, that's my guy, Elon. He built good cars. He donated me $200 million. People can people have a more transparent look on Trump's administration. Okay, this is why he's aligned with Elon. Okay, this is what Elon's offering us. Okay, have at it, Elon. We support Doge. Democrats will make the same kind of alliance, but they won't tell the American people. It's in the background. Oh, hey, you got all these climate people who live off the climate change grift. Hey, we want you to send money our way. Okay, I'm gonna put like some credits for EVs. That's why you had Joe Biden with a Jeep in front of the White House in 2021. Democrat, no one's concerned about, oh my God, you're enriching a multi-trillion-dollar company. No one's complaining. No one's crying because the liberals don't care because you're pushing stuff in their worldview. And it's the funny part. And this is the funny part when I look at leftists and they sit here and try to pretend that somehow they're the resistance. You're not. You are the status quo. You are the institutions. Look at colleges. Look at these corporations. If you look at the corporations and you look at the list, the percentages of workers that donate to the Democratic Party, large 90% plus, a lot of these big Fortune 500 companies donate to the Democratic Party. Yet you're sitting here telling the working class that you're the party for them. When 77% of people you categorize as rich supports the Democratic Party. And you want to get mad that billionaires are part of Trump's administration when Trump himself is a billionaire. Like, make it make sense, leftists. The American people elected a billionaire to be president. And you're mad that other billionaires are working in the administration. Like, do they think if Americans had a problem with billionaires being in government, Donald Trump would have never won the presidency? So that sounds more like a you problem than an American problem. But you're trying to project, and this is my problem with Democrats. It seems like they're trying to wish something into existence. And it always seems like liberals and leftists, they only play on narratives because all they want to do is condition your lens. They want to change your perception, not highlight reality. They want you to believe in a perception. Hey, have this perception. You should think it's a bad thing that billionaires are in government. People who are used to managing large amount of money in their personal life, I don't want them to manage money in the government. Make that make sense to me. Make that make sense to me. It's been working out so far for us, right? Yeah, billionaires got us $36 trillion in debt. Yeah. Billionaires sure helped us do that. No. But we want to try something different. We want to try something new. We want to change, remember? Oh, you need to take money out of politics. As long as you taxing the rich, as long as the rich disproportionately pays more taxes than the poor and the middle class, they'll always have control of the politics. Sorry to tell you this. Progressive tax cuts make the country more dependent on billionaires and millionaires. Because if the millionaires and billionaires say, hey, Democrats, if you don't give me any loopholes, a la Donald Trump, I'm leaving New York. I'm leaving America. I'm going to renounce my citizenship. Rosie O'Donnell just finished going to Ireland. Rich people can live anywhere in this world, bro. And the compromise that I keep trying to tell American people is that, yes, you must care about the working class. Yes, majority of Americans are in the working class technically. Yes, I understand that. But end of the day, it's a two-way street. We're interdependent. You need rich people's capital for them to pay your salary, and the capitalists need your labor, your skills, your abilities to help them implement a vision. And you both, it's like a business deal. If you don't create an environment where they can do that, they'll go somewhere else. Because unlike the working class, rich people have the ability to live anywhere they want in the world. They can buy themselves citizenship, essentially, anywhere in the world. And if you don't treat people where they feel treated, like respected or valued, they'll go somewhere else. It's like a relationship. If you don't value or respect your wife, don't be mad when she leaves you. If you don't value and respect rich people, don't be surprised when they leave you. And Democrat cities, Democrat states, they're seeing a migration out of their states and cities. Why? Because no one can live there. And now they're worried about them losing political power because a lot of these blue states are having negative population loss. But hey, I digress. Democrats, keep it up. Because at the end of the day, you can appeal to emotion as much as you want. But reality always comes due. The check from reality always comes due. And you better be able to pay it. Because you not acknowledging reality does not absolve you from the consequences of reality. A famous woman once said, I forgot her name. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts and your perspective about Democrats' messaging. Have Democrats learned from their loss, or they're still falling in their hubris? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share this video if you feel so inclined, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.